What's happening, guys? Wanted to answer a question that came through the Twitters, and this comes from my man Mark Pickering, who is a judoka, and he's asking, how do I find the training balance between their work with the wrestlers, how much training the wrestlers are doing, and how much training I could do? Well, one thing that I've mentioned many times before is as an independent coach, you don't have a whole lot of control over certain things. We really work extremely hard to educate our parents, to educate local coaches, and to educate all our athletes, not just the wrestlers, that training is year-round. It is an off-season and an in-season program, and there's different protocols for each time of year. What many of these wrestlers do, or their parents do, it goes both ways, is one of them or both of them decide to pull out and stop training in season. So there is no balance. They're essentially saying, I am going to stop getting strong and I'm going to just get weaker. Nobody would ever say, hey, damn it, I need to get weaker and slower and lose some confidence here. I need to get my ass kicked a little easier. Nobody would ever say that. But through their actions, that's what you're doing when you want to stop training for strength, when you want to stop training for any kind of special strength. Speed, endurance, power, all that fancy schmancy stuff. Now, those who are smart, they become the most successful. They train with us 1 to 2 times a week during the in-season, and what I have to do is really dial in what they are going through. So this is simply auto-regulation. I talk to the kids. We see how they're moving during the warm-up. I get verbal feedback from them. Each kid coming from a different team has a different kind of training, camp, quote unquote, through their school. Some of them go through extremely difficult practices. Some of them don't have hard wrestling practices, but their coaches make them just run and run and run until the cows come home. Other kids, unfortunately, don't have hard practices. So what we do is we take all that into account. So if somebody's legs are fried, we work around that. If somebody's knees are really banged up, we work around that. If somebody's been wrestling extremely hard and very fatigued, we work around that. If somebody has been lifting at school, and the problem there is, are they doing it with the right technique? What are they doing? We still have to work around that. Being an independent coach makes things certainly more challenging. And what happens is you look in our gym at the underground, and nobody is really doing the same thing. There's always certain tweaks going on. Even if it's the same workout, some of the kids might be training a little heavier, a little more intensely, getting closer to that maximum effort, where others might be really in the sub-max effort, using lighter weights. Certain exercises heavier, other exercises lighter. So that's how I do it. It's really the art of coaching, if you will. And, if I was working at the college setting, then I'd have greater control because I know that these kids would have to lift. It would be required for them to show up in season and off season. High school kids, they don't really get it until they lose a match and they walk away and say, wow, that guy was stronger than me, or I was gassed out, or they get injured. And, they do a lot of on-again, off-again training. But hey, that's the human food chain. That's the food chain in combat sports. The athlete who's training smarter is going to be the one that oftentimes comes out on top. Not all the time, because anything's possible out there, but the one who's putting everything in the right place, doing all the right things, he is the one that has the advantage. I'm Zach Even-Esh, undergroundstrength.tv. If you know of a wrestler, a combat athlete, or a coach who could benefit from this information, please send them this video. Peace out, guys.